Well, I just left Northfield in a bit of a dust storm, trying to make the end of Ollie's game. It is 7:07. They start at 6. They should be able to see at least one at bat, if not two, and a couple innings of work. So, a very good day today. I know two fillies I tried to be very conservative with, and I ended up tromping on the wheel of two different people today. I honestly, had I thought Melisandre was that good, she's such a weird little filly. She wears earplugs, and she was trotting along okay, but you can watch. When I kick her earplugs, she just bolts. And Ryan Stahl was out, and then, he went in. The very same thing happened in very similar terms. I kind of get into it a little bit with Tyler Stillings today after the race with Dio. I felt that he was more trying to block than he was to try and drive. It wasn't like he moved to the outside and then said, I guess I just don't got it, moved back to the inside. I felt that he heard me coming up the inside and dropped back down. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was the exact same situation. But I'll start working my way backwards in regards to Melisandre. I had to strangle her to get her back in the 6 hole. Did I shut her air off? I don't think so. But you could argue that point, I suppose. And when I finally got her in, now I'm 8 lengths off the lead minimum. I can't really, I don't know what the fractions were, probably 29, 59, 28, 59, something like that. I know 3/4 was 128, and I said, geez, you're kind of getting away on her, right? I'm trying to get her going. I kicked those earplugs, and she came right to life. And if Ryan Stahl stays out, she is an absolute winner. Doesn't matter whether I try to go left or I try to go through the middle. It didn't matter what happened. She was going to the winner's circle, unless I run over a wheel or go through pylons or hook a wheel or something. That's just possible. Rock dust is not supposed to be in your throat. But unless, if there's any sort of seam from her, from the point when I kicked the earplugs to the wire, she's an absolute winner, which is impressive. They went in 58-3. I had to be at the half in what, a minute apiece, 1-1? And she was loaded with trot through the wire. I went through the wire, into the turn, through the turn. I was thoroughly impressed with her. Now, I know there might be some people out there that watch and say, wow, come on. There aren't very good horses. And yeah, she raced okay. Well, sure, I suppose, but we all have to start somewhere. All I know is that every time I've sat behind this filly, aside from last week when she felt uncomfortable, we put a set of flip-flops on her tonight. Her ears were up the whole way. She was comfortable. Last week she was not. She was uncomfortable. You could see her stress level in the mile, whereas tonight she was just confident. Not only did I run over the top of Ryan Stahl and tromp on his wheel like 4 times, then I twist her around to the outside and she's charging at the wire. Now you can take it for that, or you can say, well, yeah, but they were bad horses. Well, sure, none of them are going to show up in the Breeders' Crown this year. But as I said a moment ago, we all have to start somewhere, and I was thoroughly pleased with Melisandre's race tonight. Now, less pleased, but still pleased with Grand Slam Dio. I can tell you her feet are hurting her. I can tell you her back is a little stiff. Tim and I talked about this after the race. I said, I think she's a little bit lean. If we can put 30 pounds on this filly, make her a little more comfortable on her feet, keep her from loading weight behind, I think the speed is there. Again, I was going to be a very close third had Tyler not come down in front of me in the last turn. I tramped all over his wheel too. So kudos to those fillies, right? Then she finally, I wrestle her through. I hit a pylon. I got through one. I've just got her all twisted around. She gets free, takes off. She wasn't just the third. Went by 2, rubber ducks on a pond. She was a closing third. That isn't just being optimistic, that's being realistic. And the only way to look at it another way is to say, well, here's one filly who paid 150 for and another 100, so what gives? We can look through all the programs and we can find horses that cost a lot more that aren't nearly as good as those two. So before we start saying, well, this is what they should be doing, I'm going to start with what they are doing. And they both did race very good today. I see a huge difference in Melisandre with the flip-flops on. And I believe we will see a huge difference over the next 2 starts when we start addressing the issues with Grand Slam Dio. And of course, Arrowhead Hanover was tremendous today. You know, Ronnie, if you watch us, we had a very small conversation coming off the car. He was getting in behind me, and I said, no, go ahead. And then after the race, he goes, why didn't you want to just get away third? I was happy in fourth. I thought his horse was better than that. The problem being, I didn't want to get away third and have Ronnie get me moving at the half. I didn't want to be out first over into the two favorites, or one favorite for sure, and the other one I believe is the one that beat me last week. I didn't want to be flushed first over at the half, and that's likely what would have happened. Ronnie's too smart not to do that. In fact, what I wanted to do was stay out of their way. If Ronnie's horse is good, I'll flush him first over, and if he's not good, at least he stays out of my way. And really, those three horses in front of me, I believe, were the only three true contenders in the entire race. Not to take anything away from the other, I think there's only 6 in it anyway, the other 2 or 3 horses, whatever. That's how I wanted to race them today. Either cover them up, or be first over into Dave. I want to take a run at them. And that's exactly what I did. This looks very familiar. I think we're supposed to turn here. That's exactly what I did this afternoon. So I was really, really happy with the way all 3 horses raced today. Both fillies showed some life, showed some pop, showed that they have some ability, which is important. As I said, we got to start somewhere. And every bit as important also is the fact that they tried. They were trying. They wanted to win. They wanted to do their work. And Arrowhead Hanover coming into a stake race in 10 days couldn't be happier with a new lifetime mark. First over in 54 and 3, 28 flat in the end of it. So a great job done today by the horses. Ollie is not up to bat yet, but soon. I'm going to go watch him play. Anyway, happy with the way today went. Maybe I'll give you guys a little look, because there's an odd little vantage point here. A really odd little vantage point here. See if we can see old Ollie. What uniforms are these? I'm looking at the wrong game. But geez, that doesn't look like him. This is a cool little park. I've never been here before. There's 2 or 3 games going on right now. Okay. There's Ollie over there. Yes, that's his team over there. So, little league play. I guess you can't see it. That vantage point's not as good as the one behind me. Anyway, I was very happy with the way the horses raced. Happy with the babies today. I had some people message me saying, what about this one? What about that one? Guys, as I said, there's only one horse I was a little concerned with today, and that was Joe J. I just think she needs to do more work, but everybody else did their work well. I'm happy. You should be happy. I got a little bit of racing. I told Jody I'd go over and drive his horse tomorrow at the Meadows, and I will. Other than that, I have Thursday off, Friday, big day Friday coming at the Meadows for us. Big day Saturday at Miami Valley. Saturday evening, JK Victory and Time is on my side race. I'm going home to watch him play for the Guelph team. A lot to do this week, but I'll tell you what, we're having a pretty good run. Take care. That is Amy. I will talk to you soon.